Hey guys, it's Jane. Welcome back to the Book and Beverage Review, where today we will be reviewing something a little different and really fun. So L. Ron Hubbard is, of course, the famous science fiction writer and the father of Scientology, but there is a series of novels that come out. I just learned about this. There's a series of novels that have been coming out for years, and what they do is they showcase writers, and they want to give them sort of a platform to be heard. And it's called L. Ron Hubbard Presents Writers of the Future. And in every volume, there will be a bunch of short stories from different writers and also some new illustrators that some people have never heard of. And we will be reviewing L. Ron Hubbard's Writers of the Future 38 today. I'm about 50% of the way through. I'm not through all of it, I will be honest, but we're going to get into it. And we're going to be reviewing this Super Coffee Caramel Latte. So, without further ado, let's sip some coffee and get into a story. I even think that Dollar Tree has some of these. I bought this at Walmart for like $2 something, but I even think there's some at Dollar Tree, which I don't know if that indicates quality or not. There's a lot of that aspartame fake sugar flavor, but it tastes like a really cheap version of it. It's not like a high quality Splenda. This tastes like really cheap. I hate it. It tastes like like a bitter, sour energy shot or something. It says no artificial sweeteners. Look at this. This is so full of crap. Hold on. Stevia. So but like I've had stevia. This tastes like crap. This is a total fail. I'm gonna be drinking my water. Honestly, I think that's a bad. Okay, so now let's get into our story. I'm really fascinated with this volume set. I feel like if I was ever a billionaire, I would buy a bunch of these and just keep them on my shelf. I think they're very fun. So it's kind of speculative, fiction-y sort of thing. Desmond Astaire, I follow him on Instagram, and he's one of the writers in this volume 38, and I was really excited to see some of his work. I know he's won some awards. I'm going to link him and his Instagram down below, and if he has a website, I'll link him down below as well. I just think he's really awesome. I know he came out with this Murder Birds. It's Murder Birds, an avian anthology unhelpful encyclopedia. I just think that concept is hilarious. So essentially it's a bunch of short stories where in each story there is a persisting theme of birds and murder somehow. Either the birds are involved in the murders or they're somehow connected in the story. So I think it's really fun. It's a really fun theme to go with, and it definitely calls back to a little Edgar Allan Poe-ish sort of The Raven. So something about it just really appeals to me. I don't know anything more about it, and that's kind of the fun of it. I'm kind of in this challenge of not supposed to buy more books, but for this one, I actually think I will buy it on Kindle tonight or something like that, just because it's such a fun binge it seems like. And I probably will review that also on here as well, just because it seems fun. I'm just going to go through a few of the stories, and what I'm going to do is down below in the description section, I will leave the name of the short story and my rating. And that way you guys can know how I felt about all the short stories. That being said, I also want, because individually, it's different writers, different illustrators. So I'm going to leave down my rating down below with the short stories. And this is going to be my Friday night binge reading materials. So once I'm able to get through all these stories, I'll post them down below. Right now, I think I only have like 5 or 6 that I've actually rated and actually considered. I've read a few more than that, but I haven't really considered a rating on them. I'm going to go back. So what we're going to do is just talk a little bit about a few of the ones that really stood out to me that I read already. One of the stories I really liked was Magic Book of Accidental City Destruction, a Book Wizard's Guide. This short story revolved around a person who's in a bazaar who is called a book wizard who sells magical books. and he sells magical books to the city, but most people, it's a quiet, simple city, and most people aren't really interested in that. And so what happens is these two brothers who are orphans come up, and he tells them, just pay me back for the book. You can have it, and I'll pay me back with interest, and use the book and you could figure out how to make money. Well, a few days later they come back and they pay him, but then the book becomes very popular, and it starts becoming this thing where people in the town are having almost magic warfare because this book became so popular. So I'm not going to say any more about it. That was one of my favorite stories in here, and that one was 5 stars. I thought it was really cool. Another, I mean, it's just very interesting. There was The Squid Is My Brother, which is really about a Neptunian child who is in a foreign exchange program here and trying to learn human ways or whatever. I thought that was very cute. And then we have Gallows, which was by Desmond Astaire, it was great. That was a 5-star short story, but there was a lot that was going on in it, which I felt like when I read it, I felt like I had a portal into another world, which I feel like that's what a really good writer does. Essentially follows this person who realizes that they are involved in some kind of time war drama. So what happens is he's about to get on a flight, and these 2 time travelers approach him, and he overhears them, and he overhears that they are saying, is that really him? Is that Gallows? That's Gallows. And he's kind of confused about this. At the time, he doesn't know what they are, but eventually it's revealed that they're time travelers, and they prevent him from getting on a plane. That changes the timeline, and he becomes aware of time travelers' presence, and how he ends up taking charge and trying to prevent time travelers from coming back and messing up their future is really interesting. And it also brought out my inner conspiracy theorist, because I totally believe it. Like, I know I'm supposed to just look at it as a fiction work, but I'm like, I totally believe this. I totally believe they're time travelers, and I wonder if it looks anything like this story. So I got into this dark hole where I was Googling for like 2 hours trying to figure out like what other people know about time travelers and how it works, and I don't know. I think that good science fiction writing does that. It sends you down a rabbit hole of trying to find information out about a thing because you become obsessed with it. And that's what this did. So bravo to you, Desmond. You are totally on my list now, one of my favorite writers. And I want to know what you know about time traveling, because I think it's real now because I read your story. That being said, L. Ron Hubbard actually had a short story in here, which I never read any of L. Ron Hubbard's work, believe it or not, and I am fascinated. I really see the talent, and I'm just amazed. I never expected to like L. Ron Hubbard work because I always associate it with Tom Cruise nowadays, but it was actually great. His short story, which is called The Professor Was a Thief, is magnificent. I really like it. So I highly recommend this volume of L. Ron Hubbard's Writers of the Future. I actually bought the Kindle version for this for $9.99 online. Some of this book is free for preview. I think like the first 100 or something pages is free for preview on Google, but I wanted the whole book, so I did buy the whole book on Kindle, and it was much more easier for me to read that way as well. And I highly recommend you guys picking it up. I don't know how the other volumes go, but I'll take a look and see which one people say are their favorite volumes. And it's really interesting because they give you a lot of tidbits into the authors' lives, and they tell you a lot of interesting stories from other famous authors or famous people in the literary world. So I think that there's a lot that you're getting from this, even if you're just into speculative fiction works, or if you want to be a writer. I think something like this is very helpful, this sort of book. I feel like it will help you tune your craft and learn more in a short amount of time from really, really good writers. This is 5 stars. There is so much excellent writing. I have not found anything I don't like in here. some things that stood out that were really fun, but I have not found anything less than 4 stars. And anything 4 stars, I haven't posted my rating system, but anything 4 stars is excellent. I mean, 5 stars to me is a classic, like an instant classic almost, that goes on my shelf. 4 stars is, this is really fun to read. I really enjoyed this. This is really good work. And this book is just excellent. As for this Super Coffee, this is one of the worst things I've reviewed on this channel. I don't give 1-star reviews to anything because I feel like I try to be appreciative and grateful of whatever I have and whatever I can review. This is like really bad and I would never buy this or recommend to buy this. So I'm gonna give this a 1 star. Not worth the money, even though you could get it at Dollar Tree. I just want to give a special thank you to Desmond Astaire for reaching out to me and telling me about your writing and, you know, just being an overall really cool dude. This has been really awesome and I will continue to support your work and I look forward to seeing your addition to Murderbirds. So thank you guys so much for joining me. I look forward to sipping a beverage and getting into a new story with you guys soon. Take care.